What's going on, everyone? We're here for another Rust update video, and this is the big monthly update. So of course this comes with a forced wipe of the maps, not blueprints for Rust, but your server provider may be wiping blueprints, so you're gonna have to check in with them about those changes. So first we're gonna go over, there's been a lot of quality of life stuff changed, which is pretty awesome to the game. So what we want to look at is first, horse meat is its own thing. It still looks like chicken, but hey, at least you get horse from horse and no longer weird stuff like that. So all creatures have their own types of meat now. That is something that is definitely, you know, it's not a huge deal, but it is something interesting. Now, also, we're going to pull up a couple screenshots right here, and you're going to see there's been quite a bit of work to Happus. And it got a junkyard, a sewer branch, the new outpost B3, 8 new caves and tunnels, updates and fixes to the older rad towns, better roads, and better junk pile spawns. So that we're going to actually cover in a whole separate video because the Happus updates have actually been really awesome, and I want to go ahead, fly around and look at them because they are quite unique from the procedural generated maps. So that is something that I wanted to go ahead and check out there. They've also been doing some work with, whoa, that was a bit of lag. It looks like we're downloading skins all of a sudden. And that's one of the things I want to mention. They have done some fixes for trying to get the downloadable skin things to work a lot better. There's still some issues here and there, but they've, you know, gotten rid of a lot of the big issues. One of those big issues was that server owners had to restart their servers every time there was new skins for them to show up. That isn't a thing anymore, so that's pretty nice. Now, with the... Oh, there goes something. We're gonna pretend that's not there yet. And so with the boats coming in, you've seen quite a few videos from me, there is buoyancy in the game now. So as you'll see, bodies now float. So if you kill someone that's out in a boat or hiding out in the water or something, their body will float to the surface and you'll be able to get your loot as you deserve. So that's pretty cool. Also, as you will see, the water reacts to bullets now as well, which is pretty awesome. And there's someone else on the server here, I guess, even though this is a test server. So yeah, we're gonna go back to some of the quality things here. And wow, water is so loud. So the 8K actually has a little bit of a nerf done to it, as everyone's been begging for. So you guys better be happy, because man, at least give good feedback on it of why it's not good if you feel it still isn't. But the 8K has seen some... You'll see more aim cone kind of added to it. You know, that's aiming down the sight, which kind of pretty much stayed the same. It's going to be the hip fire that is way more crazy and no longer like a laser. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now, before we get into what this little building is, we're gonna go in and take a look at a couple more things here. So as it goes right now, the rocket launcher has gotten a price decrease from 100 HQM and 10 to 50 HQM and 6 pipes. The semi-auto pistol has gone ahead and been reduced from 8 to 4 HQ. And the semi-automatic rifle was 4 and is now 0 HQM, which is going to bring this thing into play far earlier. All the SMGs have also gotten a cut. The SMG, the MP5, and the Thompson. For that, we're going to want to look in here, and I believe the Thompson was reduced to, yeah, to 10. And the, let's see, SMG, oh, that just brings up all of them. Beautiful. The MP5 has been reduced to 15 high qual, and the custom to 8. So that is some nice little changes right there. When it comes to clothing, the heavy plate armor was all cut in half in cost. It's also been unnerfed a little bit with the speed. You're a little bit faster in it and so forth. Hopefully that helps a bit. I still think the view range could be made a little bit better because, yeah, if you're wearing a visor like this, it would at least go the length of almost the entire screen. So that could use a little work. Hide armor has been reduced as well. It's been cut in half for its leather costs. And the long sleeve shirts and t-shirt, used to cost way too much to research. As you'll see, they are now 20 a piece to research, which is much more reasonable. Now, the HV rocket has seen a little love, and it has been reduced in price by a quarter. It's 1 pipe, 100 gunpowder, and 2 explosives. That is quite a big decrease there. And the reason to them is they do only a quarter of the damage that normal rockets do, but they fly way faster. You see that really hit, and this is going to make them more accurate for something like, let's say, anti-personnel, or they can get to things a lot faster, meaning you can hit flying objects. Interesting. Flying objects. Why would we want to hit flying objects? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because there's a couple helicopter events now? Oh, that makes a little more sense, right? So we got that, which is pretty nice there. So a couple other things that have been rebalanced. The bolt action rifle itself has actually seen a little bit of love. It now costs a little bit less to make. So let's go ahead and look at the bolt action. You'll see 20 high qual, 1 rifle body, 3 pipes, and a spring. And this thing is also going to be doing a lot more damage, which is nice, which is pretty awesome. Also, the shirt and long sleeve shirt do a little bit more radiation protection as well. So that is actually pretty much all the quality of life stuff. They've done some work with lighting, shading, and wind and a few other things, which you will notice as you're in-game there. But let's go ahead and jump to what everyone's been excited about, and that is the boats. And the boats are pretty awesome. We'll go over it kind of here. So you do have to go ahead and put fuel in to them. So we're going to go into fuel, and I thought I had some on me, but I did not. So let's get a little bit of low grade. So we'll stick some low grade in there. It can hold 500 at a time. It also has a storage container in the front of it. You cannot lock it, so, you know, keep that in mind. Now, they are repairable. So you'll see here, metal fragments and wood will get you back up to the full health. And they spawn anywhere, like, this is actually a natural spawn. This one spawned right here next to water. So wherever there's going to be water, or the, you know, lighthouses, harbor, etc., things like that, is where this boat will start coming in. And the push mechanic still probably is one of the coolest things. I mean, think of the other applications of stuff that this could actually have to it. It'll be pretty great to see that, you know, maybe, you know, once we have vehicles get stuck, you can kind of push it out to somewhere. Or let's say, you know, whatever. So, I don't know. there's plenty of applications for it. So let's go ahead and jump onto the boat. And start her up. Can we move? We cannot move. Alright. Well, it's not letting us push that one anymore. So, let's just do, I believe it is spawn row boat. There it is. We got one in the water. We still have that extra 500 fuel here. And yeah, so to keep these boats, they automatically decay on their own. You're going to need to make a boathouse. And this is just a really simple, super simple boathouse. It's nothing too special. Can you only start the engine from the driver's seat? Yep. This thing is pretty fast. You can cruise around in it nicely. And yeah, you're going to want to learn how to park it a lot better than I'm doing. And get this thing into your boathouse. And wow, I am really, really bad at this. But one way or another, once it's in something with walls and a roof over its head, you can, yeah, I'm not going to be winning any boat contests anytime soon, I'll tell you that. But yeah, once it's got 4 walls and a roof around it, it will not decay. So this is how you can keep your boat safe. They will, of course, respawn on their own. And there's, you know, about 50 or 60 per map on a 4K size about. So that's kind of what's going on there. Boats, of course, can be sunk. You can shoot them down. Something else new you'll see with procedural generation, they've worked on making things be a little less wonky, floating rocks, a few other things, you know, merging into each other that shouldn't be, and so forth. But you'll see there are new trees. So we've got these new beautiful birch trees, which look awesome, and they're trying to make the forest much more dense. The purpose behind that is if you don't chop down every single tree around you, you can live in a pretty dense forest, which is going to be pretty neat. And these birch trees look amazing. You see that there's kind of some new wind effects to it. It looks a lot more realistic. It's less just like one solid object just kind of fluttering back and forth. And of course, our oak trees have come back, and these beautiful, beautiful oak trees look amazing. They've really done an awesome job on that. Now, when it comes to the scientists, we've seen a few changes here and there now. They do, of course, show up as junk piles now, as I stated in my last couple of update videos. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. All right, guys, so here we got a scientist. He's hanging out up here. Let's see. So they don't really care too much until you get too close. And, oh. Oh boy. Ooh. All right, so that was close there. We almost died. And oh, there's another one somewhere. Oh, okay, let's get away from him. So yeah, they will now be spawning around junk piles. The cool thing is once you get rid of the associated junk pile with them, they will not spawn at that spot again. So that's kind of good, so they don't pile up and kind of like mess up everything. Now, we do have a couple other little changes which are nice, so we'll go jump to that. As you guys know, the Ch47 is now added into game and will be pretty awesome. That was one of the admins out here flying it. So that's kind of a thing. We're actually going to do a separate video on it. It is a special event, so if you want to see what's going on with that, it drops a locked crate that actually has to be hacked. If you didn't see my video a little bit ago, the map has gotten a redo and it looks absolutely amazing. You also have the option to focus back onto your character wherever you are if you go off, as well as you can turn the grid on and off. It will also show the new events locked crates. So while we were messing around here, it actually had one where it dropped off a crate. This is what it's going to look like in game. And you actually are going to go up to it and you're going to have to hack. As you'll see here, we've got some little junk piles, and these are just pretty much like the other ones. Once you go ahead and, you know, break it, they will start to sink. So you want to be careful on that, be able to jump back in your boat. You've got a few seconds before it starts to go under. Let's see. Here we go. These look awesome, by the way. They did a really good job on them. Come on now, boat. That's not actually a piece, right? Nope. But anyways, I just called this a boat. But as you'll see, the junk piles are kind of all around out in the water. There's several different kinds of them. Some even look like they have like a little raft attached to them, which is pretty cool. But this is going to be a whole new way for you to get some loot and use the new boat. So that's a pretty awesome thing right there. I'm pretty excited about this because it means, you know, Aquatic is getting a little bit more love and touch to it, and that's going to be a really awesome thing because it's something different, and there's different places, different play styles, different ways to do different things. So yeah, that's a really neat thing right there. We will once again be right back. Last of our little updates to make things better, you should be noticing that elite crates have less garbage in them and more viable things. Not just the elite crates, but also the airdrops. So Halka said he's pulled out a lot of what people consider junk to make them a lot better, which is pretty awesome. So hopefully that will be making looting nicer. But that brings me to the next part here, where looting is going to change a little bit. We are actually going to be having parts of the rad towns locked off. So by killing scientists out in the wild, you have a chance of getting key cards. These key cards will then open up parts of rad towns that you normally can't get to. Then, on top of that, those can then get you a better key card to a better lootable in a more high-tier rad town as well. So it's pretty interesting. It's a cool system, but that's not yet where it stands. Maybe you get the key card, but the door is dead. There's no power to it. You'll have to find fuses and actually put the fuses back in and get power going to that rad town again before you can loot the special doors. So this is actually a really cool thing. I can't wait to see it put into the game. It's going to add a lot more PvE to it and a lot more risk to some of the higher tier loot and so forth. So that's something I think is really cool. That also brings the new rad town. There's going to be this scientist compound, and this is where the scientists are going to live. It's where they are. They'll be guarding it and keeping the peace there. And they'll actually have vending machines you can purchase stuff from. It's going to be very interesting and something I'm super excited about. The idea of it is really cool. We're starting to see things flesh out in the game, and it's just a really neat thing. I know a lot of you guys don't like it, that kind of stuff, but the game needs its PvE. It really does. And this is something that's going to go a step in the perfect direction for it. I can't wait to see that, and it's just going to be great. Lastly, you guys might notice that your hair has changed. I lost my hair completely, but as you'll see, there's a couple of pictures here I'm going to kind of flick through, and they've put in the new hair system. The hair looks great. Your character probably looks a little bit different from what it used to, and they've just done a really good job. It's much more optimized. They're still working on it, of course, with the little things. You know, certain armors might look weird sometimes, but they're getting that fleshed out, and it's just it's much better. It's realistic. The beards look great and everything. And I think the team has done a really good job. But guys, that's going to cover it here. Please look out for my next two videos. One is going to be showing off the helicopter event in detail, as well as a detailed look at the improvements to Happus. So tune in for those. I believe the heli video should be out later today, and the Happus one probably either Friday or this weekend. So take a look out for those, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.